well, it was announced yesterday that Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar are going to be doing the halftime show at the 2022 Super Bowl. And listen, listen, I posted like one of my Facebook statuses from like
Uh,
2016, and I was like, for the fifth year in a row, I want Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg to do the Super Bowl halftime. And that's finally happened. I don't. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't think we need Mary, Eminem, or Kendrick on the bill like that. I would have loved it if it was Dr. Dre and Snoop's halftime show, and all of those people make feature appearances or something like that. But when I see these five people on the halftime, I guess flyer or whatever for Pepsi, they got Dr. Dre in the middle, so okay, it's his, right? But how many songs is Mary going to be able to do? How many songs is Eminem going to be able to do? And is Kendrick going to do half a song? Because you got to think Snoop and Dre are going to take much of the stage. I mean, it's only 30 minutes.
has Mary done the Super Bowl before?
I haven't seen her at a halftime show. I don't think so. Oh, Andrew brought up the elephant in the room. He said he need 50 in game reunion. Well, my question was, why is 50 excluded from this anyway?
Hold on. That is a valid question. Why is Game excluded for this? Is he not big enough?
I guess he's not big enough. But 50 Cent, all right, let's just keep it real. Mary J. Blige is there with Dre, which is interesting because I thought that was Diddy's artist. Let Diddy tell
No,
it.
no. I mean, Mike. All that means is that they needed something R&B related to
Mm-hmm.
throw in Dr. Dre's catalog. And so, with that being said, it's either do "Blow Your Mind" with Eve and Gwen Stefani, or do "Family Affair" with Mary J. Blige. And so,
They're
we
gonna
already
do
know the
Family
record. The Mary
Affair.
record, the Mary record is getting done. It's "Family Affair."
Of
So we're gonna
course,
hear
but
back
where
from
I was
fans.
gonna go with that is we all know Family Affair is a knockoff version of In the Club. So why isn't is In the Club probably not the biggest record out of all of these artists possibly?
Not Snoop.
Not Snoop. Okay. Who else got a bigger record than In the Club?
Snoop.
I'm not counting Snoop. This is Snoop and
Okay,
Dre's
okay.
show.
I'm about to say, would you like
I'm
to
really
say
talking about Mary.
Doggy Style? Everything released as a single on Doggy Style is
I'm
bigger
really
than.
talking about Mary, Eminem, and Kendrick.
No, they don't
Are
got.
they
They
supposed to be on this bill over 50 Cent?
supposed to be Mary. Yes, Kendrick probably no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm okay with this being Dre, Snoop, Mary, Eminem, and 50. Kendrick's here because I guess he's putting out some music. And this is a lot more pressure on Kendrick than it was already there.
You think it's pressure?
Oh yes, this is pressure because you know what? He's going to have to put this music out. He's going to have to put new music out. Do you believe he's going to put new music out before this Super Bowl appearance?
I do, and I think it's going to be much sooner than you do. I think the latest that we're going to hear something is 2 weeks before the Super Bowl.
Nah, I think that Rodriguez says it's also an LA thing, but Mary's from Yonkers.
Yeah, Mary from upstate New York. Like, no,
Yeah,
it's not a no, no, no.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
that
an
easy.
LA thing. We're not gonna say that. And Marshall's from Detroit, so no. I mean, that's not a reason to exclude 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, what was I gonna say?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that it's totally relational. I mean, they've never even really like said it publicly, but it just seems as if like Dre and 50's relationship is more based on their ties to M separately than their ties to each other. Haven't you always gotten that vibe?
Yeah, if 50 comes out, it's gonna be because Eminem brings him out.
That's a possibility too.
It is a possibility, and I hope it happens. M is probably going to do that, but again, I don't know how much time people are gonna have because there's so many people on here. But back to Kendrick, they made a point to put Kendrick on this stage. I don't know why. Why do you think Kendrick's there? Because obviously Dre and Snoop are Dre and Snoop, right? Eminem's gonna be on there because he's Eminem. Mary's gonna be there, to give it, like you said, that R&B twist. Why exactly is Kendrick there?
Put him on the table. Hold on one second, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, I think Kendrick's there because Kendrick's probably got some music on the way, and I don't think that Kendrick is going to drop anything further from that Super Bowl Sunday than that Friday. I think that the Friday leading up to that Super Bowl Sunday, we're probably going to get some new Kendrick Lamar music. And it's probably going to be that Kendrick Lamar album, the final Top Dog album that everybody is, I guess, waiting for, been anticipating. So, yeah, I think Kendrick's dropping in 2022. There's no other reason for him to be on this bill. And I think that it's probably going to come out the Friday before Super Bowl Sunday, so we don't have too much time to be critical of the new material.
I don't agree with that. And part of what my daughter said earlier is part of why I will say that he's officially relevant to two separate generations. And so he has been the artist, hip hop artist of his generation. He's officially relevant to two separate generations. And so I am going to say he deserves to be there because I'm going to go back to what else did I say? What's the biggest thing that a rap artist can have in his bag? His catalog. And so he has that. And
he got a Super Bowl catalog, though, because, again, we're talking about...
hold on. Enough to do all right and be out the same way Mary going to do Family Affair and be out the same way M going to do Lose Yourself and be out.
No, that's real. That's real. I think he's going to do all right and then probably half of his new song and be out. But the thing is, too, I mean, the other underlining thing in this is the fact that when do people get cool with people doing the Super Bowl again? I thought everybody was against the NFL until Kaepernick got a job. Because Big Boi caught all kind of shit for doing the halftime show in his hometown of Atlanta. And somehow this is all cool. So I guess they got Kendrick on there to be the pseudo protesting rebel MC in the situation. So he'll probably do the uplifting, basically black empowered all right, and probably come out there kneeling. The nigga might even come out there in chains in a prison suit. Who knows? But that's
very shady. That's shady.
That's what he did. He did that at the Grammys.
Did you not think that was a great performance?
It was cool. I don't like that imagery, but the performance was good.
No. Unpack that right quick. Tell me what you didn't like about that imagery on stage.
I think there's a way that could have been done in a more tasteful manner. I get it, but I think that it's theatrical in the sense where it's almost like, when you're continuously getting slave films, right? We don't, on the Grammy stage, we don't need that. Again, that's just my personal opinion. If that's what you want to do,
okay,
cool. But I think everything about Kendrick and his catalog and even his visuals sometimes are over the top theatrical. I feel like I'm watching a play.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the theatrical part of it, and it may be being overplayed. Here's what I'm going to submit to you. Hollywood has a bad history about depicting us in only a slavery or indentured servitude-driven lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And the Grammys, when have you ever seen a rap artist of his stature on that platform address the reality of the prison industrial system complex? Like, when have you seen it done by artists of his stature?
I get it, but it's one of those things where, oh man, Coop just went away. And he was making a good point. I wanted to go into some of the comments because y'all are making some really good points as well. Rodriguez says, after Jay-Z associated with the NFL. I mean, but is that a good thing? We got Coop back. I was just reading a comment, and I'm going to answer your question too. Rodriguez said after Jay-Z associated with the NFL, that's what made this okay. Now, is that a good message, though? Is the fact that, so the NFL says, you know what, we could just sign Jay-Z on, and he can go out here and basically tell everybody we're past that, and everything is good.
Well, you got to stop letting that man dictate the pace. That's what I'm saying. No man should set the tone or the tempo for this culture.
People should be able to have their own minds.
No. Until he proves himself, he or she proves themselves to be at least as invaluable as previous leaders who have held that position before. And Jay's not that guy, so that's all y'all's fault.
But the thing is,
because Mike, I never necessarily bought into that, and a lot of reason why I never bought into it, it's like, well, why y'all doing this shit? Because Jay doing it. Like, who is he? He's not Malcolm X. He's not Dr. King. He's not Marcus Garvey.
Listen, if you want to put on a shirt because you think the nigga looks fly in it and all that, that's cool. But don't change your whole principles because if you're standing for something and you feel like, yo, I'm not rocking with the NFL because this, and this, he shouldn't be able to be in a position to tell you, nah, that's over with. We done worked out something over here that you don't know the particulars of, but I'm telling you, trust me, it's over with. I mean, at that point, it's dangerous.
Right, but also, too, it's like, this is what I mean. It's like, people be following Puff and Jay when they have a history of leveraging their position only for their own benefit. It's like, are you not paying attention to that part of how their game gets played?
Because my thing is,
every time they're doing something, I'm looking the other way, Mike, because I know they're doing what's most beneficial for them.
They always have.
Not us.
They always have.
No, they have no history of doing us first.
Like they'll tell you in their music.
So you allow, you allow yourself to be skewed by these guys, and it's like, I look like a hater, but I'll be that.
No, Jay told you, man. I'll sell ice in the winter. I'll sell fire in hell. I'm a hustler,
right.
Baby. I'll sell water to a well. I was born to get cake. Move on and switch plates. Come on, man. Was born to dictate. Never follow orders, dick face, get your shit straight. I mean, he told you, like, what it is. He's been telling you his whole career, look, I'm doing what I got to do for me. Now, anybody that follows that, that's on them. But it's wild to me that everybody was sitting here like, oh, this is the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, weren't y'all the same people giving Big Boi grief for doing a halftime show in his hometown? Like, look, I have no problem with any of it because, folks, if anybody's going to have a real problem with anybody, you should have a problem with the football players going out there playing if that's your grief. But if they're going to play and there's going to be a game and there's going to be a halftime and you want to watch it, go ahead. But don't sit there and give one person flack for doing a halftime show a couple years before, and a couple years later, nothing has changed, and now it's okay. Because Jay sat down with with the commissioner and told you guys that we're past the kneeling process.
Hey, Mike, there's a quote from W.E.B. Du Bois that says, to deal with people, and it's just paraphrasing, pretty much to deal with people who are wild and untrained and uneducated and have no semblance of selves is to play with mighty fires. He pretty much says untrained and trying to tame an untrained and a weak mind is to play with mighty fires, is the quote. And that's what we have going on, like with a lot of this stuff. We just have a lot of weak and untrained minds, like period, point blank, weak and untrained minds.
But not to go off on a tangent. And you're right. Not to go off on a tangent, but I say all that to say I think that's really part of what Kendrick Lamar's involvement is. He's the conscious voice of this generation that is going to be added on this show.
Are you saying he's here to keep it from being too gangster?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh,
he's here to balance that out. So once again, we can move forward with the next. Because how believable would it be if Snoop Dogg went out there and kneeled?
Mike, you want to know what? Just because of what you just said, I don't want Kendrick, Eminem, or Mary there anymore. I want it to be a gangster party.
Yeah, let's just make it a gangster party. If we're going to be on some ignorant shit, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like...
Oh, right. Oh, Mike, I get what you're saying. They trying to sugarcoat the gangster shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no, fuck all that.
That's what I got. When I see this...
I'm sorry, Mike, I've been on vacay. I've been trying to enjoy, like, my 40th birthday weekend and all that. Mike, that's very valid. You're right. They're trying to sugarcoat this. I see what you're saying.
This should just be Dre.
This should just be Dre and Snoop. That's what you're
They got the catalog for it. Like, all these other people ain't even going to go out there and do anything.
Mike. Yeah. They got the catalog off 2 albums.
These other people ain't going to come out here and do anything. I mean, and they could pull in a Tupac hologram if they want to. We didn't see that.
What do you think the chances are that Nothing But a G Thing is the start-off song? Do you think that's a chance?
I'm pretty sure that's the start-off song, yeah.
Right.
The whole 1, 2, 3 into the 4, yeah.
So they're going to keep it a little gangster.
I mean, I would love to see a lowrider come out with "Let Me Ride" or whatever. You know, when they do that Parliament Funkadelic type of intro or whatnot, and it comes out on the hydraulics, kind of like the mothership used to come down. But again,
They're gonna do "Let Me Ride." Like that's
when you got Eminem, Mary, and Kendrick, we're
how
probably
long do
not
they
gonna
have?
see
They got
all
20
that.
minutes, right? They got 20 minutes.
Yeah, they got about 20, 25 minutes. So
Yeah,
Mary's gonna come out there.
take about 5, 6 songs in.
Well, how many songs you think Eminem's gonna do?
Lose yourself.
All right, so Eminem's gonna do "Lose Yourself" and get off stage.
Marry, family affair, off stage.
Kendrick, Kendrick might close it out with "All Right" just so people can say it was a powerful performance. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, yo, I don't want to see the jail suits and shit, man. I don't, man. And I say that respectfully. You know, I like Kendrick. I like all of these people. But
So you're worried about his placement in terms of how they're trying to depict the whole show.
mm-hmm.
That's a pretty high level thought, Mike. I'm gonna give it up to you on that. I wasn't thinking about it on that level. I was more thinking about it on the level of like they just, it does have to be friendly and formatted. So as soon as I saw Eminem and Mary, I was like, yeah, but I never really thought about Kendrick's place in it. To be honest with you, I thought he was more there because he's the current guy.
Nah, I think he's
Current
there
person in the
because he's the
lineup. Like
conscious
he's the
guy.
only current person in the lineup.
I think he's there because he's the
The album
conscious
in
guy.
4 years.
But see, the halftime show never does current. They don't care about current, really. They're either gonna go all the way current or they're gonna go all the way another era. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't care about that. I think he's there because he's the conscious guy.
Prince and Mike are dead, and we don't know where Janet is, and they won't let her back. So we kind of stuck with Mariah, I guess, and that's no place to be stuck in. I must just stop talking. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, what I was gonna say too, man, like I think that not I think. I know they wish that Eminem could hold down the whole show itself, but Eminem just doesn't have the catalog.
No, don't conspiracy theory it out like that, Mike. That's
He's the
Snoop
most
is
popular rapper of all time.
no Dre and Snoop. Even with Eminem standing there, for anybody who knows anything, Mike is still the headlining thing. Like Eminem is there to
You don't
draw.
think? Do you think? All right, you don't think people would want Eminem to headline a halftime show? You don't think he has a
Who's
strong
standing in the
enough
middle
fan?
of that picture?
You know
Everybody
what?
trying
And
to
I'm not trying
no,
to
no,
be
no,
funny.
but no,
I
no,
don't
because
like
here's
how
something.
far you looking at the picture. I don't like how far Snoop is from Dre. Pause. I don't. I don't like that. They got Snoop as a backdrop.
I found that to be very
I
problematic.
don't
If you
like
want
that.
to,
Ain't no tenure. There's no reason that should even be in that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but there is a reason that Dre is in the
why
middle.
is Eminem right there next to Dre like that? Like, really?
No, but here's what I was kind of speaking more to who Dre really is.
Of
Like
course.
even for Eminem being like who he is and what he is, like, you know what I'm saying, selling all these records and being the biggest selling artist ever. Don't nobody think that Eminem's bigger than Dr. Dre outside this community or inside this community, because everybody know where Eminem and Snoop and Ice Cube and 50 and Game and Kendrick, like Mike, everybody know. It ain't no secret. It's a worldwide known thing that he's the man.
Rodriguez says Snoop is the most popular rapper of all time next to Pac. I'm not, you know what? I'm not against that. I think Snoop is more popular. Snoop is more popular. I misspoke. Eminem is, he's just sold more. You know what I'm saying? I meant popular in that. But yeah, Snoop is
he's going to move more units in a country where the demographic is over 60% white.
No, real, no. It is what it is. I'm just saying, like, numbers wise, because they go on numbers. Eminem actually, as a performer of all these performers, let's keep it real, wouldn't he gain the biggest purse if we're talking like as a promoter? Who do you think would cost the most to get? Dre is really not a performer like that, right? Like, so you're never really gonna get him out the studio. I don't count him. But out of Snoop, Mary, Kendrick, and Eminem, as a promoter, who do you think you're gonna have to pay the most to get?
Hold on. Do you think? So you think M would sell out a stadium before Mary?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Isn't that who Jay-Z did his little stadium run with? Eminem?
Correct.
Yeah. It is what it is. I ain't saying that's right, whatever, but like you said, it's a 60%, 65,
Actually
70%.
65. It's actually
Yeah.
64 to
Yeah.
67% right now based
So
on
yeah,
aggregate
it's just a
data.
numbers game. But
Not like
yes,
I'm
I
keeping
will
track.
say that Snoop is the household name. But I just find it interesting that Snoop is so far back. Maybe because he's taller. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
See, but
that's
this is
what
what I mean
it
about
is.
Dre, though. It's like Dre's in the center because for as great as all these people are separately, you know who they tied to? The guy in the
Yeah,
middle.
Drake made it happen, with the exception of Mary. To keep it
No,
real,
so that's what
Mary
I'm
was
saying.
married before Dre.
So how do you feel like? Because here's how I could see it happening. Dre's the real boss in this. They came to Dre and asked Dre to do this and asked him how he wanted to put it together. And because he's not close to 50 and that relationship is more based on him, 50's out. And probably because of politics and lack of broad-based audience for this type of stature, Game is out. Kendrick's your current guy. M's your numbers guy. Mary's your safe play to get people to dance to an R&B record.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. And
So it's not so rapidy rap. Yeah.
And I'm saying this to say with those three people because you better not call Dr. Dre on the stage and not give me Snoop Dogg for the Super Bowl. Like you better not ever do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it should really just be Snoop and Dr. Dre's show, but I understand Eminem and Mary being there. And
See,
I
Mike, at
understand
that point,
Kendrick.
I'm gonna get a certain type of way and be like, do deep cover.
Yeah, man. I mean, but again, I would have loved if it was just those two guys, right? And you'd be like in Friends or something, and all these guys can come out. But does
So I think that's
everybody
what it's
have to? Because
about
we
to
see
be.
who this is centered around. Does everybody have to be on this ad?
Hold on. So that's what I'm saying. I think Mary, M, and Kendrick are getting 3 songs, but I think that there's probably going to be 5 to 6 songs performed, which means it is Dre and Snoop and Friends. Like I feel like Dre and Snoop are going to get their 2 to 3 together, and then everybody else is just getting 2 to 3 total.
You know what? I would like if they did it like that, kind of like what you're saying, where this is Dre's show, and so Mary will come out there and maybe do like a singing hook for one of Dre's songs, or Eminem will come out and they do "Forgot About Dre." I'm pretty sure Kendrick's not gonna do Compton. You know what I mean? But still, something like that where it's centered around a performer.
Nice.
I'll put it this way: Dre does a very great job. I mean, he's probably one of the best, period, at putting together a show. And I think I've said this before: Dre and Snoop are probably 2 of the best performers ever in hip hop, and that's because of how well they put together a show and how massively these songs come through the speakers. And I know they're gonna put it together right, but I guess these are the visuals.
So the way this show really needs to go is that Mary needs to start it off. Kendrick needs to go after Mary. M needs to go after Kendrick. And Dre and Snoop need to shut it down. That's how it should be.
Like well, what if they're there the whole time, though? What if it's one of those things where, like, you remember when Truth Hurts came out there and was doing, like, that little Let Me Ride intro or whatever? What if Mary's doing that, right?
And they're all going to stay on stage?
Yeah, and they incorporate,
Go ahead and do Bitch Please, too. Go ahead and do
it. I don't, you know how I feel about Bitch Please, too. I want to hear the first one. I don't want to hear the second one.
Listen, definitely not playing Bitch Please at the Super Bowl 1 or 2.
I forget where we're at. I'm just looking at the artist. But yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But, I don't know. I just want to see how it's going to come together. But I do know this. I know that Kendrick has new music coming. And I think that even though we were talking about the pressure-packed situation that this has been, and the fact that he had come out since 2017, adding a Super Bowl performance on top of that is even more pressure. Especially a Super Bowl performance with these 4 legends.
Also, now Eminem's a legend to you?
Eminem is a legend. I'm not a fan. I think he's super overrated, but you can't do everything that you've done in the...
I have you live on tape calling Eminem a legend?
Eminem's a legend.
Okay.
He's a legend.
I just wanted to hear it out loud.
And, and I also say this on tape. Young Thug's a legend, too. So,
So, Mike, that might be a great segue into my daughter's Who's Current with Us younger generation list.
Go into that. That'll probably carry us out. I know we were going to get out of here in a
Right.
few minutes anyway. Go for it.
Do you have any final thoughts about the Super Bowl, Mike? Because I told you I'm still kind of ambivalent. I'm kind of waiting to see what they want to do with it, Mike. I'm not even going to lie to you. When Prince performed at the Super Bowl, that's the last time I watched the Super Bowl show from beginning to end. I don't be watching this shit.
K. Thompson made a good point. He said, "Don't Kendrick and Mary have a song together on Good Kid, Mad City?" Yes, they do. So yeah, if they put together the show like that, I think it'd be great. But I think that my final thoughts here is this is going to add a lot more pressure to an already pressure-packed situation for Kendrick's new album. I think he's going to drop that Friday before Super Bowl Sunday, and it's going to also put him in a good position for Album of the Year 2022 talks.
That's
because
why
he's setting
I don't like it,
everything
Mike.
up.
It's him playing it safe again. This is a tough year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he got nothing for KD2.
No.
No. And so I'm gonna say this now.
Go for it.
If he don't drop this year, he's officially playing the game of running and ducking and hiding. And I'm going to say it so you don't have to say it, because I know you're already thinking it, because every one of his albums, although they're all great,
have all dropped
in weak-ass years. Yeah. And I know he just saw the strong year that last year was and the strong year that this year is, and he's thinking next year is his best shot. We're not handing out no hall passes anymore. He needs to drop this year.
Yeah.
We need to hear some heat.
And, I don't want to play that game where it's
Mike, because he's smoking on your top 5, remember?
Of course. That's the thing.
Smoke this year then, my G, because you said that in August. Come smoke on it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. We don't hand out hall passes.
No, man. I mean, because this is not coincidental,
man. We be up here blasting the Source, Pitchfork, these whack-ass rappers. No. You ain't never dropped no album in no strong year. This is a strong year. We need to hear your shit now. I want to hear you up against Westside and Conway and Pusha and Nas. No more exceptions. No more excuses.
No
more exceptions.
And
you're
right.
The thing if you push it back, I'm going to take it like, oh, no, you running and ducking and hiding. Like, you heard KD too. Yeah. You were working on your project. You ain't have no smoke. You pushed your shit back. And that's exactly what I'm going to come up here and say.
Yeah.
Every day.
It is what it is. And it's like, dude, the one thing, like you said, you talking that smoking on your top 5, dropping a heavy year. And I don't want to hear that whole, he be out in the middle of space. He don't have his cell phone for months. He don't know what's going on. What's going on. Stop.
No, Mike. I was actually, Mike, since we were talking about him earlier, I was thinking about Beanie Siegel, and I don't want to hear that bullshit. I ain't mean it.
But you know how in that letter he was like, I ain't had my cell phone in months and blah, blah, blah. He putting the notion out there that he don't know what's going on out here. You know what's going on out here. Stop it, man.
He out here sounding like De La Soul in 1991. Like, what is this?
Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah, that was my closing thoughts.
Those are mine. Had some extra ones. Okay, so check this out. So, Thug's name came up because Thug is still current and relevant to this generation. Mm-hmm. Lil Baby was the first name that came out of my daughter's mouth.
Okay, so this is your daughter. I guess let the audience know, like, what I'm saying, as a hip-hop fan, where she is with it. She's in 9th grade?
She's in 9th grade, first year of high school.
Okay.
But this isn't just her. So, like, when we're having this conversation, she's going through TikTok and other people's TikToks and her friends' TikToks and stuff and, like, pulling up the records. And she's like, so off the top of her head, she was like Lil Baby and A Boogie with the hoodie. Like, she said that without looking anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they popping right now. She said Thug. She said the still popping even he messed up. Kodak. Like she said, Travis, I told you when we had the Stargate and the whole Astro World conversation, when you make classic material, it stays with people. Astro World came out when my daughter was in middle school, but she's in high school now, and she said Trav. And we even talking about, I was like, Trav's probably forever. She was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's what happens when you make an imprint.
Yeah.
I was surprised she brought up Tyler, the Creator. I've never heard her bring up Tyler, the Creator before.
Tyler's popping this year. So the kids ain't listening to me.
Mike, I told you, she said he's not as relevant as he used to be. Community work does not equate to relevancy. Plenty of people go out here and do community work and actionable things and don't seek any recognition. When she said it, I was like, damn, that's kind of, I'm like, she's right. All right.
That's very insightful, man. You and your daughter got to do a podcast together about this music, man, and, do a quick little review. It'll be great.
I was thinking about that. We really need to find the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, when we got to the female, she's like, well, you already know who. I was like, Meg, Cardi. She was like, Nikki still too. I was like, yep, that's what I figured. I was like, you know who Armani Caesar is? She was like, no. I was like, that's very problematic.
Yeah, Armani Caesar's verse on the West Side B is crazy, man.
No, it is crazy. Yeah. You know, just in general, just of a couple artists. Speaking of which, Meg actually has a song that she did with the K-pop group BTS. It has like 50 million followers on all social media platforms. Right. She has a non-sexual song with them because they're not allowed. They don't do what she does, and so she has a record with them, and that speaks to her broad spanning appeal because they're the biggest band in the world right now. And they know who Meg is.
And that also speaks to the fact that, you know what, you clearly don't have to be doing that, but you choose to do that and ram that down our throats.
I mean, and stuff like this is also why you got to pay attention to the younger generation. I would not know that Meg had gotten to the level of doing a song with a group like BTS unless my daughter told me today. You got to be paying attention to what's going on. She brought up, like, on the R&B tip, Summer Walker, SZA, Janae Aiko. We both agreed that Summer, SZA, and Janae are all toxic, but Janae's album was terrible, so she's at the bottom right now.
What about her?
I bought up her, and Asaya likes Her's album. She's like, but they not playing her like that. And then I thought about it. I was like, there are a lot of adult themes on Her's new album, like trauma and process. So it may not be snapping with the kids like that. It's a little heavier. Because I bought up her when she named SZA and Summer. I was like, no, her. Because I think Her's album is arguably the best R&B album this year.
I think so too.
Yeah, me too.
Real quick, K. Thompson wanted to say something. He said, Coop, tell me y'all going to review our NC brother Lutz album next week.
Who? Lutz?
Uh-huh. Lute.
No. I know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Is he dropping next week?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I mean, okay, so, I mean, I'm going to say this and not being funny, and I'm sitting here at home in Charlotte right now. According to hip-hop, is for the people and by the people. So we just need somebody not bigger than him to drop so we can give him some coverage or some fade. We need his project to be strong enough that we just put him up first because we really work according to what either the gravity of the artist does take some precedence, but a dope-ass project is a dope-ass project, Mike. Right. Like, we didn't plan on talking about Pray for Paris, but we ended up talking about Pray for Paris.
Same thing with the Skyzoo thing, you know what I mean? Like all the beautiful things, all the brilliant things is awesome.
Yeah, we've had plenty of weeks where it's like, yeah, we're gonna talk about such and such, and then somebody dropped the album, and it's like, no, we talking about that shit right there. So if that shit right there is there, then yeah. Mike, I want to go to Rihanna right quick.
Okay.
Here's what I realized today. Rihanna is an icon.
She is. You realized that today? Yeah, Rihanna's an icon.
My daughter's sentiments about Rihanna and my sentiments about Rihanna are exactly the same. There are 25 years that separate me and my daughter. She's like, she been gone for 5 years, but we still waiting. I was like, and we are, aren't we? She was like, I want to put Beyonce in this conversation, but she's really not Riri on how she be hitting you on a personal level. I was
wow.
Like, definitely, Mike. I'm like, this is my kid. I'm like, this is definitely my kid. And so, like, we had a whole Rihanna conversation, and we even got to talk about ASAP. He's like, what ASAP doing? He's like, well, he's dating Rihanna. I was like, well, that's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, I was like, it really don't get no bigger. And then I thought about it, and it's like, Mike, and here's how big Rihanna is, and this is what I mean about how she's an icon. Oh, we on Kendrick ass about taking this long to drop. She didn't drop her out. She dropped her last album a year before he dropped his last album. Ain't nobody said a word, but hey, when you drop it, will you please drop? Can you drop? How you gonna drop? When
but see, the
drop?
thing is,
making lingerie and drop.
I was gonna say she has other things. She has other things going on though, so people are a little bit more understanding of that. Kendrick's an artist, and
no, she's an artist too. Because here's what I tell you: like the last two albums that she did. No, the last two albums that she did are the reason people feel that way. There's bangers all over there.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I think that the Fendi being out there, people could see that that's taking up her time. With Kendrick, it's like. So,
no, Mike. It's taking up more of a bank account than it is her time. That's the problem. It's taking up more of a bank account than it is her time.
It just makes sense.
Rule 4080.
I mean, you know, I can go into the mathematics of the music industry and all that, and every other industry makes so much more sense. So, yeah.
So that's why there's been no music.
Yeah.
Record company people are shady.
But Kendrick doesn't have that excuse, so, you know.
No, he doesn't. I thought something today very, very quickly. My daughter brought up two people not related to our spectrum per se. Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Bruno Mars, and Doja Cat. When she said Bruno Mars and Doja Cat, I said Vultures. She said, I know. And that's when I realized, oh, they know who the Vultures are, and they kind of still don't care because the music is dope.
Well, on that note, man, let's get up out of here. I know you got a birthday to celebrate, man. Happy birthday to you, brother. And man, you know.
No, Mike, we're almost done. I got a J. Cole Kendrick thing for you that I found fascinating. That my daughter said. Listen to this. First of all, I put these guys together because I had no idea why they're still current, but she was like, they still popping. Usher, Future, Breezy, Kendrick, J. Cole. Listen to what she said, though. She was like, yeah, Cole's old stuff. I was like, Forest Hills Drive? She's like, no, before that. I'm like, Born Center? She's like, yeah, that's what we're into.
Oh, okay.
I found that to be fascinating.
What's the word on Kendrick?
She was like, no, Kendrick just more artistically and creative-wise gravitates with this generation more, but this generation feels Cole's older stuff, like the stuff we were listening to when he was first coming out, is the stuff they feel. I said Forest Hills Drive. She was like, no, before that. I was like, really? I was like, what do you even know about him before that? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also let me realize these kids be more onto the music than we know. Like she brought up, when I said Born Center, she was like, yeah, that's the one. I'm thinking like you're like 2 or 3 when that album came out.
Wow.
But Mike, I was 8 when the Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick came out. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing though. Yeah. Good music travels, man.
It traveled, yeah.
All right. Well, was that it or?
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much the list. I mean, we had a whole bunch of sidebar conversations, but I kind of fit everybody in. Like, those are the people that are more current with this generation. When she said A Boogie with the hoodie, that hit me right quick. Oh, she hates to admit it. The NBA young boy is big, but nobody really seems to know why, Mike. Nobody seems to know.
No one knows why. It's crazy. He gets no major
like, people
label
from her
support.
Generation know why. She was like, we don't understand it either. I'm like, y'all are the ones listening to it. What are you talking about?
He's huge.
He's massive.
All right, man. Well, you know what? We're going to do that midday Wednesday. And, yeah, enjoy your birthday weekend, man. Don't worry about no hip-hop. Play whatever you want. You don't have to critique anything.
No. I'm probably going to do a top 40 at 40 hip-hop playlist and put it on Spotify.
Okay.
And also, I wore this pink shirt today because I want everybody to exercise some awareness. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I lost my cousin, who is more like a big sister to me, to breast cancer 5 years ago, and she died during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You truly do not know what it does to you till it hits you close to home. Take a little bit of that disposable income that you spend on your extracurriculars and just slide a little bit over for the research and the development, so you don't have to feel the pain that my family and I feel this time of year specifically.
That's a great word, man. Where should people go to contribute?
Anywhere. You want to know it, Mike? You know I'm not for big corporations and organizations. Keep it local and find out what's going on progressively in your own community to like keep it alive. Like, information and education is the key to all things. You can always just donate randomly, but I encourage you to just get more educated and informed and see what you can really do on a personal level in your community to make things better. You know?
Well, that's a perfect send-off, man. And yes, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Everyone in the chat saying happy birthday, Coop. And,
appreciate that. Blessings. And rest in peace to my cousin Shonda.
Rest in peace to Shonda. And yeah, man, that's serious stuff, man.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we will holler at y'all next week or in the middle of the week. Everybody have a great weekend.
Gang, 4-0.